Okay, so as I mentioned, like our whole point here is to bring our mind into stillness. And we want to bring our mind into stillness because when it's in that state, we can see reality clearly, and then we can come to the insights that allow us to awaken, to experience enlightenment. So that's the whole point. So if we're sitting in a way where our body's screaming at us, then we're not going to be able to allow our mind to come into stillness. We're just going to be distracted by our body. So it's very important when you first sit down to meditate that you pay attention to your body and what it needs. So we've already spoken about having the knees supported. You want to have your thighs, if you're sitting on the ground, you want to have your thighs parallel to the ground. You don't want your knees sticking up in the air because that's going to cut off your nerves and your blood circulation, and you'll soon be in agony. So if your knees are up in the air, just get some extra cushions under your bum to raise yourself up higher. And then if your knees aren't touching the ground, just put a cushion or a blanket or whatever underneath. For people sitting on chairs, if your feet don't quite touch the ground, please get a cushion to put under your feet. And then the other place where it's nice sometimes to have support is sometimes the weight of your arms can sort of drag and cause you some upper back pain. So if you're finding that your arms feel heavy, if you get a cushion or a blanket and put it in your lap, and then that just supports the weight of your arms and it prevents that upper back pain. So if everybody would like to just take a moment to just assess how their body's doing and if you need a prop from the cart. There's some here and the rest are in the laundry room. So if you can just take a moment to get whatever you need to support your body. Great. Um, and then a nice way to sort of start the meditation is just to do a body scan where we just scan through the body and just relax all the body parts one after another. Um, so if you can put your attention onto your scalp and just image all the muscles of your scalp just being loose and relaxed. Just image those muscles sort of drooping off your skull, nice and relaxed. Then come down to your eyes and just allow all the muscles around your eyes to be loose and relaxed. And down to your jaw, allowing those muscles to relax. Then your head sits on your first vertebrae on kind of like a little rocker. And our head's quite heavy. So if you just allow your head to just rock back and forth a millimeter or two backwards and forwards until you find the perfect balance point. So your head's being perfectly balanced on that first vertebrae. And then you don't need to use any muscle tension to hold your head upright. It's just being nicely balanced. And now you can allow all of your neck muscles to be loose and relaxed. And then notice where your shoulders are. Many of us walk around with our shoulders high in the air. So just allow those shoulders to come down, to relax down. And then continue your awareness down the arms, just allowing all the muscles of the upper arm and the lower arm be loose and relaxed. And then allow your hands to be in whatever position is comfortable for you. And allowing all the little muscles of the hands to be loose and relaxed. Then bringing your attention to your torso, so the upper third, the front and back. Just image all the muscles just sort of relaxing, drooping off of your rib cage. Then coming down to the middle third of your torso. Soft belly. Relaxing all the muscles of the front and the back. Just kind of hanging off the rib cage. And then down to your pelvis. Just feel yourself supported by your chair or the floor cushion or the bench. Nicely supported, so you can just allow all those muscles of the hip area to relax. And then down to the thighs. Your thighs are being supported again by the chair or the cushion or the bench. So you can just allow all those large muscles to just puddle onto where you're sitting. Nice and relaxed. And down to the lower legs. They're not having to support your weight right now, so they can just be all nice and relaxed. And finally, the foot muscles, all the muscles of your feet. Just image them puddling onto the floor. And if you need to scan through your body again to make sure everything's nice and relaxed, please do so. Our goal at this moment is to allow all the muscles to be relaxed and comfortable. So the only thing that's in our awareness, aside from my voice, is our breath. So that's when we turn our attention to our breath, if that's our meditation object, is when it comes to us naturally. It enters our awareness naturally. We don't have to go looking for it. We just sit here, relax our body, and when our body's not speaking to us anymore, then we gently become aware of our breath coming in and out. And we're not trying to control our breathing in any way. We're just having a gentle awareness of it just naturally coming in and naturally going out. I like to use the image of lying on a sandy beach. So you're very comfortable because we've just done the body scan. So that's like just comfortably lying on the beach. And then we hear the waves, the ocean waves coming in and out. And those ocean waves are like our breath coming in and out. We have no control over the ocean waves. We're just aware of them. We're aware of the sound. And them coming in and going out. So in the same way, we're not controlling our breath. We're just gently aware, but coming in and going out. And once you're comfortable with just the awareness of the breath coming in and coming out, then the Buddha encourages us to just increase our mindfulness a little bit more by noticing some quality of the breath, like perhaps its length. So as the breath is coming in, just kind of notice if it's like a long breath or a short breath. And it absolutely doesn't matter if it's long or short. All we're doing is training our mind to be a little more observant and to notice the length of the breath coming in and then the length of the breath going out. So don't get hung up about being precise about this. It's sort of long, sort of short, or somewhere in the middle. But just noticing the length. And then once you're comfortable noticing the length of the breath, then we'll increase our mindfulness just a bit more to be aware of the entire breath. So noticing the moment that the in-breath starts and then staying with it, and then noticing when it finishes. And then noticing if there's a gap between the end of the in-breath and the beginning of the out-breath. There may or may not be a gap. It doesn't matter. It's just training our mindfulness to be aware. Is there a gap or not a gap? And then noticing the very start of the out-breath, following along with the breath as it's going out, and then noticing when the out-breath ends. And then again, noticing, is there a gap before the next in-breath starts? And please be very, very gentle with these observations, with this mindfulness. Just, as I said, it's like lying on the beach and just hearing the waves going in and out. So you're just very relaxed, very comfortable. And this is just a very gentle awareness of the breath coming in, noticing when it starts, staying with it, noticing when it ends, noticing when the out breath starts, staying with it, noticing when it ends. So our goal is to stay aware of the breath. But of course, that's not going to happen because our minds are so used to thinking. Our minds are going to get hijacked into thinking about something that happened in the past or thinking about the future. Or being distracted by some sound that happens out in the environment. So when you notice that happening, that you're no longer being gently aware of your breath, that you're now thinking about something or attending to some noise in the environment, then you just want to very gently, non-judgmentally notice. It's kind of like a nonverbal, oh, my mind's over here. Very gently, very non-judgmentally. Just notice that's happening. And then gently bring your attention back to the breath. And you want to be just as gentle the millionth time your mind gets hijacked into thinking as the first time that happens. This is the main activity of our meditation practice, is training our mind to stay with the meditation object, which will allow us to drop into stillness. So this will be the major thing that we're doing, is noticing when we get distracted and then gently bringing ourselves back. And you can think about training your mind as if you were training a little puppy. If you got a new puppy and you're trying to train your puppy to heel, you'll set the puppy down beside you and start walking and say heel. And the puppy will trot along beside your leg for a little bit. And then it'll see a butterfly or a squirrel or something, and then it'll charge off. And you're not going to be mad at your puppy. You know it's just a little puppy and it just needs to be trained. You'll go over and pick the puppy up and give it a little cuddle or a kiss and stroke it, speak softly to it, And then put it down beside your leg again and say heal and carry on to the next time it charges off. So we want to have that same kind of compassion and caring and gentleness with our own minds. They're just little puppies that haven't yet been trained. Sometimes when you notice that your mind's been hijacked into thinking and you attempt to gently bring your mind back to the breath, awareness of the breath, you'll find that you're not able to do that, that there's some strong emotion associated with that thinking, and it just keeps dragging you back into the thoughts, and you're not able to return to the breath. So in that case, we do something called the holding technique. What you want to do is there's two parts to this kind of a strong emotional pull. There's going to be thinking, there's going to be thoughts, and there's going to be an emotion somewhere in the body, felt, a physical sense of that emotion. So the trick is to be with the physical sense of the emotion, not with the thinking. The thinking just sort of keeps you tied in, keeps you hijacked. So when you find that there's something strong going on and you can't come back to your breath, then just scan your body and feel where the tension is, where you're holding the tension in your body. So come out of your head, leaving the thoughts in your head, come down into your body, find out where that tension is. Often it's in the heart chakra, maybe in the stomach chakra, could be in your shoulders or your jaws or your fists. Just find out where it is. And then rest your attention, rest your awareness on that tension and send love to it. Because you're hurting. You know, when you're having this kind of an experience, you're hurting at this moment. So you want to send tender, loving kindness to this part of you that's hurting. And just stay there with that tension, sending it love, sending it caring. It's just like you're sitting down beside a friend who's hurting and you maybe put your arms around them and you're just there with them, giving emotional support. So you're doing the same thing with yourself, just being with yourself, sending care and attention and love and compassion to this part of you that's feeling tense right now. And when it eases off, when it settles, then you can bring your attention back to the breath. When we pull in our attention just to our meditation object, and in this case, I'm talking about the breath as the meditation object. When we pull away from listening to sounds, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, experiencing, when we're just with this one thing, this one meditation object, our minds can start sometimes doing some things that we're not used to. Your body may feel like it's floating or expanding, or it might start tingling or having little rushes of energy here and there. So this is all very normal as we quiet our minds. So just let it be there in the background. Keep your attention gently on your breath, on your meditation object. And just let your mind and body just play around with these various sensations, but don't focus on them. Just let them be there in the background. And gently keep your attention on your breath or your meditation object. So I'm going to stop talking now. We have another hour and a half to meditate. So please meditate in a way that's comfortable for your body. It can be sitting, standing in place, going outside for a walk, or using the foamies downstairs to do lying down meditation. Keep the experience very gentle and very comfortable. Our goal is not to sit in a rigid posture. Our goal is to give our body the conditions it needs to come into stillness.